Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we are beginning the chapter 84, the sages' teachings at Kurukshetra. Verse 1. Shri Shuka Vacha Sutva Prita Subala Putyata Yagyaseni Sutva Prita Subala Putyata Yagyaseni Madhavyata Kshiti Patria Utasvagopya Madhavyata Kshiti Patnya Utasvagopya Krishna Kilatmani Hara Pranayanubandham Krishna Kilatmani Hara Pranayanubandham Sarva Vishesmur Alam Ashukala Kulaksha Kilatmaniara Anham Wind. Shri Shuka Uvacha. Shukadeva Goswami said, Srutva, hearing, Pritha Kunti, Subala Putri, Gandhari is the daughter of King Subal, Atha and Yagyaseni, Draupadi, Madhavi, Subhadra, Atha and Kshitipa of the kings, Patnya, the wives, Uta also, Sva, Lord Krishna's own, Gopya, Gopis, Krishna, to Krishna, Akhila of all, Atmani, the soul, Hara, the Supreme Lord Hare, Pranaya, loving, Anubandha, attachment, Sarva, all of them, Vishishmya, became amazed, alarmed greatly, Ashukala, with tears, Akula, feeling, Akshaha, whose eyes. Shukadeva Goswami said, Pritha, Gandhari, Draupadi, Subhadra, the wives of the kings and the Lord's cowherd girlfriends were all amazed to hear of the Queen's deep love for Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the soul of all beings, and their eyes filled with tears. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Draupadi is a chief hero in this assembly of exalted women since, as explained by Srila Sridhar Swami, she had asked the questions that Lord Krishna's queens answered by relating their respective stories. Since Gandhari and the other ladies named here were not even mentioned in the previous chapter as having been present, Acharya Sridhara concludes that they must have heard the Queen's narrations only second-hand. Indeed, Draupadi would never have spoken so freely in the presence of Pritha and Gandhari, her elders, or before the gopis, whose attitude towards the queens of Dwaraka was not particularly sympathetic. Even though the gopis joined in shedding tears, it was more because of their being reminded of Shri Krishna's pastimes than because of any loving affinity between them and queens. We should remember, of course, that there is always perfect harmony on the spiritual platform. Apparent conflicts between pure devotees is nothing like mundane envy and strife. The jealousy of the gopis was more show than substance, being exhibited by them as an ecstatic symptom of their overflowing love for Krishna. Srila Sridhar Swami Pada further analyzes the phrase Svagopya as implying that these gopis were the Queen's Swaswarupa, the original prototypes of whom the queens were specific expansions. Shri Shuka Vacha Shrutva Prita Subalaputyata Yagyasani Madhavyata Kshitipa Patnya Utta Svagopya Krishna Kilatmani Harao Pranayanu Bandham Sarva Vishishmya Alam Ashukala Kulaksha. Shukadeva Goswami said, Pritha, Gandhari, Draupadi, Subhadra, The wives of the other kings and the lords' cowherd girlfriends were all amazed to hear of the queen's deep love for Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and soul of all beings, and their eyes filled with tears. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahya Yadati Swapanantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sadhana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvedam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakam He Krishna Karuna Sinna Dinabandha Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radha Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Haripriya Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishtaya Bhutale Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavani Pasyatyare Shatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are starting to read the very interesting chapter, the sages' teachings at Kurukshetra. There is a famous verse that Srila Prabhupada quoted maybe 100 times. Yasyatma buddhi kuna petri. That okay? This is from this chapter 13 verse. And the first verse describing the dealing between different devotees of Krishna. They have different rasa, but they are hearing about others' dealings with Krishna, and that giving them the memory about their own dealings with Krishna, like gopis were hearing about dealings of queens of Dwarka with Krishna. And, in purport it is said that it does not affect them so much, but it gives them the memory about their own dealings with Krishna. So they became ecstatic just by remembering that wonderful pastimes. And it is said also in this purport that there is a harmony in the dealings of spiritual world. Although it may appear that they have jealousy and some other feelings but it only increases the rasa because their only purpose is to satisfy Krishna. They're manifesting these different emotions because it pleases Krishna. Otherwise, they don't have any other motive. They don't have any personal motive. Their only purpose is to make Krishna happy. So sometimes they manifest jealousy or enmity or some other feelings, but it's only for Krishna's pleasure to increase the rasa. So this is a very unique position of this exalted devotees. They don't have any other motive, only to please Krishna. We have so many different desires, motives, like wish list, yes, a very long wish list. I want this, I want this, I want this, that, and also I want to serve Krishna. So long list. But these devotees, they have only one point. I want to serve Krishna, I want to please Krishna, that's all. They don't have this long list. That is the only purpose of their life. And in order to understand this supremely pure dealings of the gopis, of queens of Dwaraka, we have to become purified. That's why we are starting to read Srimad Bhagavatam from the first canto. It is supposed that when we reach the 10th canto, our heart is already purified by hearing these first 9 cantos. We have to become purified, then we will understand these descriptions of Krishna Lila. Otherwise, it's very difficult to understand. How is it possible that they have some jealousy between each other, some enmity, some other feelings? So we have to study very nicely first 9 cantos, then we will be ready to understand 10th canto. But still, Srila Prabhupada translated all Krishna Lila in the form of Krishna book. This was one of the first books that he produced in America. First he published Teachings of Lord Chaitanya because he was not sure that he will have time to translate and comment on Chaitanya Charitamrita, so he printed Teachings of Lord Chaitanya in order for us to have authorized explanation of Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Then he produced Bhagavad-gita. He wanted very much that we would have proper understanding of Bhagavad-gita, because without understanding of Bhagavad-gita, we will never understand Srimad Bhagavatam. We have to start from Bhagavad-gita. And next book was Krishna book. He wanted very much that we would have proper understanding of Krishna Lila. Because so many people, they are explaining Krishna Lila, they have this Bhagavata Saptahas, and that does not make any sense. Nobody is becoming purified by hearing this Bhagavat Saptahas from professional reciters. That's why Srila Prabhupada wanted very much that we would have this Krishna book, and every evening he was hearing the stories from Krishna book. Every evening. This book has appeared in 1971. Yeah, 71. Krishna book was printed in Japan. So devotees were very ecstatic to read this book, and Srila Prabhupada was hearing, every evening was hearing the stories from Krishna book. And Shrutakirti Prabhu is describing that that was his first service. He came together with Kirtananda Maharaj to Los Angeles, and Srila Prabhupada was sitting in his garden. There is a garden in Los Angeles temple. He was sitting there, and Kirtananda Maharaj entered the garden. Some devotees were there. He paid obeisances to Srila Prabhupada. Shrutakirti Prabhu also paid obeisances. And Srila Prabhupada told him to read the story from Krishna book, and it happened so that the story was about Krishna killing some of the demons. And Srila Prabhupada was in great anxiety when he was reading this story, how Krishna was fighting with this demon. Srila Prabhupada was in great anxiety. He like on this football matches, they are in great anxiety, who will win? So Srila Prabhupada was in great anxiety for Krishna, how he will win these demons. He was manifesting very strong emotions while hearing this story. When Krishna finally killed this demon, Srila Prabhupada started to laugh like anything. Like he was laughing. It was amazing to see how he was manifesting these emotions. And next day, Shrutakirti Prabhu was very eager to see again this. So he has chosen another story about Krishna killing the demon, and it was again Srila Prabhupada was in great anxiety. Krishna was fighting, and finally Krishna killed this demon, and Srila Prabhupada was laughing like anything, very loudly. So for Srila Prabhupada, this Krishna Lila is his life. He was part of this Krishna Lila. That's why he was in such great anxiety. For us, it's like story. Interesting story, Krishna fighting with demon. But for Srila Prabhupada, it was his life. He was there in Lila. That's why he was in such great anxiety. For us, it's like a window. When we are reading these descriptions, we are looking from outside. We are looking, so these descriptions for us, it's a window to spiritual world. But if you would hear every day, what will happen? If you would hear Srimad Bhagavatam every day, Ashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam Bhagavata sevaya Bhagavat yuttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. If you would hear every day, our heart will become purified. And pure devotional service will be established in our heart. Tada rajas tamamava kama loba dayash chaye cheta etera pavidham stitam sattve prasidati. In the next verse it is said that we will get rid kama lobha, from kama and lobha, yes, we will get rid of all the consequences of lower modes of nature, and pure devotional service will be established. Then our mind will become filled with this bhakti, yes, vam prasanna manaso Bhagavat Bhakti Yogata Bhagavat Tattva Vijnana Mukta Sangasya Jayate. We will be filled with this Bhagavat Bhakti and Bhagavat Tattva, scientific knowledge. Srila Prabhupada is saying in his translation, scientific knowledge about God, yes, will be revealed to us. That is the result of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam every day. And this Hridaya Granthi in our heart will be finished. Yes. So we have to hear Srimad Bhagavatam every day. Now for us it's like looking from a window, yes? We are looking from outside, but if we will continue, as a result we will get attachment. Get attachment to these pastimes, to this hearing of these pastimes of Krishna. And at some point when the attachment will become very strong, Lauryam, Tatra Lauryam, Ekalamulyam, the only price one have to pay to enter the kingdom of God is Lauryam, great desire. Not small desire, great desire. It's like fire and spark. At the beginning we have very little desire, it's like a spark. But if you will continue hearing, at some point this spark will transform into the fire. We would have a great desire to join these pastimes of Krishna. And then we will enter these pastimes just by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the potency of Srimad Bhagavatam. It brings out attachment and great desire, and then we will just join these pastimes. And we will also be part of this Krishna Lila. So that's why Srila Prabhupada gave us this process of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam every day. We have to hear again and again. Then after some time this attraction will be born, and then great desire to join. So in every temple we have this Srimad Bhagavatam class. We have to be eager to hear these descriptions, these stories from Srimad Bhagavatam. And just by hearing these pastimes, we can satisfy Krishna. Some devotees, they like to hear, some devotees, they are studying. They like to study, to meditate on these descriptions. So some devotees, they are reading like every time they are finishing Srimad Bhagavatam, starting again many times, yes? I know some devotees, they read Srimad Bhagavatam like 10 times. From beginning to end. And some devotees, they prefer to study. They are not reading so fast, but they are studying and meditating. So there are different approaches for reading Srimad Bhagavatam, but the main point is to do it every day. You have to do it, and then our heart will become transformed. And also we have to share this knowledge with others. So many people are suffering in this material world. You have just to go out of the temple and you will see many people are suffering like anything. Especially if you will go to some hospital. I know a few devotees, they are going to distribute books in cancer hospitals. It's a horrible place. People, they know that they will live only 1, 2, 3 months more. They know that, and for them it's very heavy, because for such a long time they were trying to enjoy, and now they don't have any opportunity to enjoy. everything, the body is destroyed, and everything is destroyed, and they are just waiting for death when it will come. And devotees, they are going there and they are giving them second chance. They are giving them books. They are giving them prasadam, and some of them, they are becoming very enlightened. They are saying, I did not know that I will live after death. And it's giving them some inspiration. They are starting to read Srila Prabhupada's books. Some of them, they are starting even to practice chanting. But it's a horrible place. Not everyone can tolerate to be present in this place. I know only few devotees. They go there. Other, after 5 minutes to stay there, they are becoming vomiting. They don't. It's horrible to even enter this place. Like hell. Hellish conditions. People are very much suffering. So, but if you want to know reality, sometimes you can visit this cancer hospital or funeral home to see how they are cremating the bodies, like Svargadvar in Puri. If you will go there, you will see the reality of life. The body is just dead matter. It puts in the fire and it's melting and destroyed. Just in 1 hour, nothing left, only ashes. So some devotees, they like to go to Svargadvar to see the reality of this body. I also went there a few times to see what is the body. Otherwise, we are thinking that this body is such a nice body. Oh, it's very good body. I want to enjoy this body. But when we are going to Svargadvar, we can see that it's just dead matter. It turns into ashes just in 1 hour. So, in order to maintain this mood about the reality of material world, sometimes we can visit some hospitals or hospice or funeral homes, and we will see the open reality, yes? That there is no hope in this material world. No one becomes happy here. Although they are making shows, this material world is a big show. Everyone tries to make shows that I am happy. Especially if one rich is making very big show, smiling and trying to enjoy. But at the end is the same for everyone. For a rich person, for a poor person, everyone. The finish is in this funeral home, yes, Svargadvar. The end is the same. So we have to understand this reality, that material world is a big show, and we have just to understand our spiritual nature and come back home, back to Godhead. That is the real place where we can enjoy with Krishna. Here, it's a futile attempt to enjoy because it's not our nature to enjoy without Krishna. It's futile attempt. And we should preach, we should share this knowledge with others. So many people, they are waiting for this knowledge. Every day devotees are distributing thousands of books. Somebody has calculated that now book distribution is going in with such a speed that every second one book is going out. Every second. One person is receiving a book every second. But still, we have distributed only 600 million books. And the population of the earth is 8 billion, yeah? So we have a lot of service ahead of us. At least for a few hundred years. We will have this service for distributing books. So we have to participate in this effort. This marathon was very nice. Juhu temple became number 3. Yeah, I have the results. First time in the history, Chowpatty temple became number 1. They have distributed 686,000 books. 686,000. Second east of Kailash, 606,000. And number 3 is Juhu, 471,000 books. Yes. These are the scores. So it was great marathon. Devotees were trying to satisfy Srila Prabhupada, our acharyas. It's a great opportunity to get their mercy by distributing these books. It's a genius plan created by Krishna, by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada had this idea to help people by distributing this knowledge in the form of books. Because everyone reads books, is reading something. 100 years ago, people were illiterate. Many people were illiterate. If we would start this book distribution 100 years ago, it will be very difficult. Because at least in Russia, literacy was like 5% 100 years ago. 5% of people could read the books. It would be impossible to distribute books because no one knows how to read. But now everyone could read. 99% of people could read, and it's easy to give them books. It's a plan of Krishna. Krishna made something that everyone would learn how to read. That was his plan. Because he was planning that everyone should get this knowledge. That's why he created this system that everyone has go to school and learn how to read. Previously, there was no such system that everyone should go and learn how to read. Just some people, they knew how to read. But now, we can distribute books even in Africa. Even in Africa, people, they know how to read books. The literacy is lower in Africa, of course, but still, they are reading books and devotees are distributing books there. But at least in India, everyone knows how to read. It's easy to distribute books. Everyone knows about Bhagavad-gita. So we have to put some effort to give them books. Is there any questions or suggestions? questions? We can stop, yeah, if there are no questions. Here is.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, can you share how your devotees do book distribution in Russia? How they do it? Like one to one or?
Yes, we started book distribution on large scale in 1990. Before that, it was illegal. All devotees went to jails because they were trying to preach. First big marathon was in 1990. We were distributing books just on the street. You have to go out and take a book like this. And many people, they were starting to go around you. Oh, is this book about God? Yes. And everybody was buying because for 70 years they were not allowed to read anything about God. So and now it was allowed, but not much books were available about God. So just you have to go out, and as much as you brought, everything was distributed just in a few minutes. It was 1990. Then we were putting, after some time, we found that it's more effective to have tables, to bring more books and to put the people in the queue. And we were distributing 500 books per day from book table. Bhagavad-gita. We had only 3 books in Russian language: Bhagavad-gita, Krishna book, and Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Only 3 books were available, and they were very expensive. Bhagavad-gita was 25 rubles, and the salary was 100 rubles. So it was very expensive. It's like nowadays, like 5,000 rupees. Can you sell Bhagavad-gita for 5,000 rupees on the street? But at that time they had such a strong spiritual hunger that everybody was buying, everybody. So they were standing in a queue just to buy few books. That was the beginning. So in 91, Moscow became #1 in the world for Prabhupada Marathon. 92, it was the biggest year in Russia. 92, we have distributed 2 million books. 92, it was the biggest year. But now devotees just are going on the street from person to person, approaching people. And some people are still inquisitive. They are buying books, mainly young people. Young people are always inquisitive, so it's difficult to convince some old person to buy a book, but young people are buying very easily. So devotees are more concentrated on the students, different categories of young people, going out to the places where there are many young people, some universities and other places. So book distribution is going on. This marathon we were distributing mainly Krishna book. This marathon. We found one sponsor and we make Krishna book very cheap, like 100 rupees. And it was going out very easily, so all devotees were distributing Krishna book. So everyone whom they were approaching after like 2 weeks, he was saying, I have already Krishna. I have already Krishna. So all the people were chanting Krishna's name because of this. I have Krishna already. You was offering me Krishna. So it was nice marathon. It was not so big as in 90s, but still it was very ecstatic. Some devotees were distributing like 200 books per day.
In the ISKCON Communications Journal, just a month ago, we published a description of the Russians' interest in the Bhagavad-gita going back to the time when the first translation of the Gita appeared in Russian. Okay. And the authors of this article, Russian devotees, they traced the history of the interest in the Bhagavad Gita over 200 or 300 years. They took note of who was translating it, 2 or 3 different translations. They mentioned many scholars and Indologists who were reading the Mahabharata, translating Mahabharata, and so I can send you this article. You'll find it interesting.
Yes, there is a quite big interest in Russia for Bhagavad Gita, especially because we made very big advertisement in the 90s. We made like big posters, 2 meters high, and in every metro station there was this poster, read Bhagavad Gita as it is. In every metro station, in every coach in metro there was a smaller poster, read Bhagavad Gita as it is. So from that time many people they remember Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Gita. They still are buying because of that advertisement 30 years ago. Still there is quite big interest. Yoga is very popular also. Hatha Yoga Club in every corner in Moscow, at least. In every corner. So people are still inquisitive.
In the article I just mentioned, it describes some of the reactions to the Bhagavad Gita by the Russian intellectuals. Some of the reactions were maybe not so enthusiastic. They thought that the Russian mentality was better than the mentality in the Bhagavad Gita, suggested in the Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, there are always different opinions. Some people they like, some don't like. But still, people are reading Bhagavad Gita. Every year we are distributing a lot of Gitas. Also, we have online shop, and every year like 20,000 Gitas are going out just online. So that means there is a quite big interest. People like to read Bhagavad Gita. Like here in America, they have Amazon shop. In Russia, we have wild berries shop. And this shop is selling Bhagavad Gita. 20,000 Gitas in a year. So there is quite good interest. Hare Krishna. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, all glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.
down your email address so I can send you that article.
Yes.